Hey, it's Pete and welcome back to Question Christ, and tonight the question is, will Judgment Day come on May 21st? There's a gentleman by the name of Harold Camping who is someone who has, I believe, a radio show on the internet. I believe it's familyradio.com. And he says that he interprets the Bible to say that on May 21st, Jesus Christ will return to the earth and Judgment Day will happen on May 21st. He goes on to say a couple of other things, but I want to just get down to why I think this is biblically inaccurate and that will not happen like he says on May 21st. Number one, Jesus makes it clear no one will know the time or the hour, the day or the hour, except for the Father himself. You'll see this in Mark chapter 13, verses 32 through 33. However, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows. And since you don't know when the time will come, be on guard. Stay alert. Now, if even Jesus, the Son of God, is not privy to this information, then why would Mr. Camping have this information? Number two, Jesus reminds us over and over again, stay alert. You'll see this in a number of passages, one right after the passage we just read in Mark, in verses 34 through 37 in chapter 13, Jesus says the following, "The coming of the Son of Man can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. When he left home, he gave each of his slaves instructions about the work they were to do, and he told the gatekeeper to watch for his return. You too must keep watch, for you don't know when the master of the household will return, in the evening, at midnight, before dawn, or at daybreak. Don't let him find you sleeping when he arrives without a warning. I say to you what I say to everyone, watch for him." Also in Matthew 25, he tells a parable about the 10 bridesmaids, and how half of them are ready for when the bridegroom comes after midnight. They've been waiting all night for him to show up. Half of them are prepared. The other half are not. And they have to go, and they're not prepared because of the lamps they have not kept lit. And they have to go back and get more oil for their lamps. And when they come back, they are shut out of the festivities. Clearly a parable about not being prepared. So Jesus over and over again tells us, stay vigilant, stay alert. You don't know the time or the hour. So the third thing is that it's very clear in the Bible that no one will have any question when Jesus Christ returns. And this kind of goes against what Mr. Camping and his followers have been talking about. One of his followers was writing in his blog about how will we know when Jesus returns, or if Jesus returns. And the blogger simply stated that there are going to be people who are not saved on May 21st. But they probably won't know that Jesus has returned unless they live in an area where there are many believers and they are gone because of the rapture. This is totally biblically inaccurate by Jesus' own words. Again, in Mark 13, this is like the chapter that tells you everything you need to know. Starting in verse 21, Jesus says the following, "Then if anyone tells you, 'Look, here is the Messiah,' or 'There he is,' don't believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform signs and wonders so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. Watch out, I have warned you about this ahead of time. At that time, after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will give no light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then everyone will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds with great power and glory, and he will send out his angels to gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest ends of the earth and heaven." Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound to me like you're going to not know what happened. I mean, it's going to be an event. You're not going to have to worry about the false prophets or messiahs. You're not going to have to worry about someone on local cable television saying he's Jesus. Because Jesus is going to make sure you know that he is back. So again, what Mr. Camping is proclaiming is just not biblically accurate, and I don't know where he's coming from with that. But one thing I want to thank Mr. Camping for is that he is making people think about Judgment Day. I don't believe it'll happen on the 21st. And I don't believe the question is when. I don't believe we have to worry about when. I believe the question is, are you ready when it does happen? And that is a question that we all have to really come to grips with. Do we live our lives for God? Do we live our lives the way God would want us to? Do we believe that Jesus is the only way to the Father? Do we trust in Him as the Messiah? Do we take the gift that He has given us, which is the sacrifice on the cross, dying for our sins? Do we acknowledge that? Those are the questions we have to ask ourselves. So whether it's May 21st, May 22nd, whatever, we will be prepared. So that I have to thank Mr. Camping for. This isn't about trying to dodge a bullet. Is it going to all happen on May 21st? The question is, are you right with God now? And if you're not, what can you change to get yourself right with God? And a lot of the people that are following Mr. Camping are going to be the most prepared when that judgment day finally comes. I'm sure on May 22nd, the rapture doesn't happen at that time. On May 21st, there's going to be a lot of mocking of these people. But I tell you, you shouldn't mock these people because they are probably more prepared than any of us for when Jesus does finally come. And He will come one day. So the question is, are you prepared? Am I prepared? I hope you have a great week. Questions or comments, please leave it, and God bless.